So, in Quezon City, Manila, Filipinos are starting to wake up. Filipinos have decided, after their research and after a couple years of the Sinovac just doesn't work. They want the vaccines that work. Why enroll to anybody? It should be common sense, right? If they're reporting that Sinovac is 50% effective just against the normal strain, why enroll would anybody want that when they could get to 90% effective against all strains, right? But the Philippine government is very slow, hard-headed, and very ignorant. So at least 37 doses of Chinese-made Sinovac vaccine in Quezon province remain unused as many residents prefer other brands. And they have a right to prefer other brands, right? Now, you're talking to a guy that thinks the shot should be mandatory. If I was the president of the United States, I would have declared martial law. I would have lined everybody up. The Republican Party would have shut their damn mouths. And everybody would still been alive in America if I was president. Most of you hated me, but your butts would have been alive. There wouldn't have been 4 or 5 million, 20 million dead here and there. Europe wouldn't be the same way. So you're talking somebody that's very pro-vaccine. And I'm trying to tell you that there's one vaccine you shouldn't take. It's Sinovac, right? Now, an interview with ABS cited reports from health units that many residents are waiting for the COVID-19 vaccines developed by Pfizer, Astra, Modern, all the good ones. What they're doing is they're showing up to these places after they sign up, and when they find out it's Sinovac, they're saying, no, we're good, call us when you get the good one. Now, there's two things else that are going on around here. One is Philippines is a very poor country in some places. That's not a shout out to the Philippines. It's a shout out to say that a lot of people cannot afford birth certificates. So what I mean is a lot of the homeless, a lot of poor, they give birth at home. And when they give birth at home, they're not issued a birth certificate. And you can't get a birth certificate, you can't get proper documents, you can't get an ID. Without proper identification, you can't get the shot. So what I'm saying is that since I've been in the Philippines here and this virus has broke out, not one local government, LGU, not one congressman, including President Duterte, has said that we need to make sure that we get the vaccine to the homeless. And such a large homeless population, for them to be neglected like that, I think it's really stupid. Now, I do think also that it's time for private doctors to get the right to have the vaccine, because if it's good enough for the government to be issued, it should be good enough for private doctors to order the vaccine. Now, when private doctors order the vaccine from these manufacturers, then they pay for it out of their own pocket. That way people can go in, they want to get the vaccine, they can pay for it. It's time for the local governments and the government of the Philippines to grow up a little bit and help the people, not help China. Now, he said he called on his constituents to take the vaccines being offered to them regardless of the brand, right? He called the local offices to pass ordinances that will support the no vaccine preference policy. Well, that's too bad. Too bad. Sometimes you as a people, you got to tell the government, no, we're not going to accept this. There's other times where you're going to have to listen to the government. This is one time you said, we don't want Sinovac. Stop giving us Sinovac. Stop flying it in. Stop, stop, stop. That's what you got to tell the Philippine government, your own government. Stop. No. This is unacceptable. No. Right? Now, the Philippine government has already found ways to, in some places, to punish people that are on vax. So some places like some cities, right, the government employees every 2 weeks are required to pay for their own tests every 15 days, right? And it costs a lot of money. Matter of fact, it probably costs whatever paycheck they're earning. And it's ridiculous, right? Employees and constituents should submit their vaccine card or certificate to department heads, supervisors before the end of the month, right? And it's just, everything's gotten out of hand, not just in the Philippines, a lot of different places. Look, if you're in Europe and you're in the United States, you need to get the vaccine. You just need to stop being stupid. But here in the Philippines, you do have a right to the internet. You do your own research, and you do have come to a conclusion. And a lot of you in Quezon City have decided we don't want Sinovac, and it was a good decision. 2 years late for that decision, but it's a good decision. It's time for the Philippine government to grow up. It's time for the Philippine government to allow private doctors to get the vaccine for them to order. And it's also time for somebody to finally wake up and talk about the large homeless population, the hill people that come in from the hills. Well, the equivalent would be us Native Americans that are living in tribes on tribal land in America. They have that actually here in the Philippines. They're not being inoculated, and it needs to stop, right? So if you want to go on whatever government policy they have, if you go and it's Sinovac, you don't want it, just walk away. Tell them you call me when you get a big boy shot. That's what you do. When you get a big boy shot, when you're seriously, you tell that government official there to his face exactly the words I'm going to tell you. When you get a shot that's effective and actually helps me for my health, when you can show me that you care enough about me to give me an effective vaccine, I will be back. Until then, you can keep this crap. You walk away. That's what you say.